This is the Voice of Land on the Big Play Network with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Jay Banky. Sometimes the planning for the show can take days upon days upon days, and sometimes the planning just falls in your lap right before you're about to go on air. And we're going to talk about all of that and more tonight right here on the Voice of Land here on the Big Play Network, also partnered with LPV Productions. I'm one of your hosts, Kevin Arnold. Alongside me, as always, it is always Positive Jay, and there's a lot to be positive about tonight. And our producer extraordinaire behind that proverbial glass, we call him Audio. He is better known as Peter Tellup. We are, of course, here live on Twitter at VTL_pod and on our Facebook page at Voice of Land. We are also on the Big Place Facebook page and our YouTube channel at Voice of the Land Podcast. So make sure you like, you follow, whatever button is there to follow along with what we're doing as a show. Make sure you tune in to all of that. And you can always follow APJ at Always Positive J, myself at Kevin and Seven, and at LPV Productions across all social media sites. We are brought to you by Vector Technical, the right person, the right job, the first time, and DP Construction LLC. They will get the concrete construction project done that you need. Their phone number, 330-217-4999. That is 330-217-4999. And like we said before we came on here tonight, a big trade in the NBA. Before the trade deadline, Koby Altman said, screw wait until Thursday. I might as well. The Indiana Pacers are in town. We've been rumored to like Karis LeVert from the Indiana Pacers. Why not just do the deal? These guys are in town. Why not just do it face to face? Have the guy walk into the building and awkwardly walk in, as Joe Varden, the Athletic, was kind of describing. He walks in and he goes into the Pacers locker room to kind of say his goodbyes or whatever. And he's talking on the phone to Koby Altman, who's in the building. And then, in a little while, he's probably going to walk at the end of the game. He'll walk 150 feet to the Cavs locker room. It's a guy that they need. It's another guard for this team. Jay, Koby Altman again showing why he is the first general manager that Dan Gilbert and this front office has trusted to give an extension to and even give a promotion to this team. Just your thoughts on this trade and what it can do for the team going forward, even though they're not playing well tonight necessarily.
Well, they're coming back slowly but surely. It's still early, but love the trade. Like you said to me earlier, the guy can create his own shots. When you got bad offense, you got a guy who can make a bucket. And can we just give him the GM of the year now? Like, can we award him this now? Because holy crap, is this guy on fire, man? Koby Altman, just if I had a hat, hats off to you, my friend. Hell of a trade day. They gave up nothing. They're like, all right, here's some chips and a soda. Can we have that guy who scored 42 points on Friday? Sure, thanks. Appreciate it, buddy. Man, what a hell of a trade. What do you think, Peter?
I'm all for it. I think this is one of those it's a strange season, I think, because there wasn't a lot of expectations for the Cavs coming into the season. And the fact that I think we're sitting right now tied for fourth in the East.
And it's only like a game and a half, 2 games out of first.
Yeah, we're right there. It's so not
every day. It's like
top.
We're in second, third, or fourth. We're always bounced around right now.
Yeah, and the fact that they're being aggressive. We've had some injuries, but being aggressive and bringing in people that are going to help, boost us up. I mean, I'm excited for playoffs, and I'm not a huge basketball fan. You guys know that.
At the beginning of the year, we were like, do you think they can make the play-in?
Right.
Now we're like, we need home court advantage.
Well,
we're trying for the number one seed.
They're slated to win maybe 27 games the whole season was, I think, what Vegas had odds on. And now it's like, we don't know how far they're going to go. And it's exciting. And it is a long season. And that's the one bad thing I feel is the bad thing about basketball, especially when we had LeBron here. It seemed like the regular season, it almost didn't matter. Like, it really felt like it didn't matter because you were certain with LeBron on the team, you were going to be in the playoffs, and then everything would come together. And, some years it really didn't. Like, they just really didn't gel as well as they should have. And I don't know if it's because they were just kind of like lackadaisical the whole season, just knowing they were going to, get into the playoffs and they could, shine then.
The huge difference, like, if that team, they lost LeBron, they were done. This team, they've lost Sexton. We've had Garland out for time. We've had Mobley out for time. How many other guys? Okoro out for time. We just overcome all this stuff, and we're just exceeding so many expectations. I'm so proud of this team, what they've done this year. And I mean, Cavs put the East on notice. Let it be known they're coming for everybody this year.
Definitely.
They did. They really put the East on notice that, hey, yeah, we might be a year ahead, but why not go ahead and make this move now? And you don't give up that much. You give up an expiring contract. And I know everybody's kind of already making the side jokes of, yeah, like you give up Ricky Rubio when he's healthy, he'd come back, because guess what? When you're on an expiring contract, the Zydrunas Ilgauskas rule that the Cavs forced the NBA to put in doesn't apply here when you're on an expiring contract. You can go back to that team.
So they made a rule about us, and then we just found a way right around it.
You found a loophole.
I love it. I love it.
I mean, but if Rubio wants to come back here, he will. That's just the thing. That's kind of the relationship that was built. And you need a guy like Karis LeVert with Garland out. The Indiana Pacers are, while the Cavs are, coming back in this game, down 9. I think they were down 16 or 17 at one point, right, in the first quarter. You need a guy that can go get you a bucket when your offense is stagnant, when it's basically, it feels like there's a lid on the rim. And listening on the drive in to the first quarter, it literally sounded like someone just, welded on some sort of lid to that rim. You need a guy like that. And when Garland's not there, all the Pacers are doing, they're pressuring a guy like Goodwin, young point guard. Yes, he's had a journey to get to the NBA. It's been his dream. He's an unsung hero, but teams start to see weaknesses. And when you don't have that great of a ball handler and shooter, and you can get up in their face and all you're really doing is scoring in the paint with your big guys, if you put pressure on the ball, that makes it much more difficult to get the pass off. And now you can't get the ball to your big guys. Yes, Mobley can play on the wing a little bit, so he can kind of play from there, but you like to see him down low. You like to see him get in a rhythm first down low. And when you can't get your young guy in a rhythm, you can't get Jared Allen in a rhythm, coming off a 29 and 22, a 2020 game, a career high in points the other night in Charlotte. Refereeing again,
guy
Peter,
should be an all-star.
He should be an all-star, and it could be a replacement. I know he's among the 3 that are being talked about by the commissioner.
It's going to be LaMelo. I'll bet you.
Yeah, I know.
It's be him.
I know, because they want the draw. They want the name. They want,
even though it's in Cleveland, it'll be Bello.
I know, LaMelo. But it's good to see that Darius Garland got it, and we can talk about that.
Congratulations to him.
We can talk about that in a little bit as well. His back injury concerns me. Again, right now, the focus is what Koby Altman in this front office was able to do. And they gave up next year's or 2022's lottery protected first round pick. So, you make the playoffs, you're already out of lottery anyways. And there's really not deep draft classes in the NBA. You're looking at lottery talent and really, top 5, top 6, most times, sometimes now. It's not, can you find that diamond in the rough? Well, he said, I'm going to get a 27-year-old, already got the experience in the league. This is the type of guy you would get coming out of college in that range that you're giving up your pick for. Why not get the seasoned player to now help you, who you can also offer a contract extension to now. So
and he wants to stay, rumor has it. He wants to sign one here.
Right. Because
he's a young winning team, man.
And remember, him, just like Jared Allen, was all part of that James Harden deal. To get James Harden to the Nets.
We could say Koby Altman won the Harden deal.
Yeah, because now you got Karis LeVert and Jared Allen from Brooklyn on this team, when they were kind of it seemed like a young team that was starting to find their way, and then they blew it all up for their own big 3 in Brooklyn. And
how's that going for them?
Not great, because there's already talk of James Harden moving on again.
And then Kyrie can't even play at home, so
no, and not going down that
Durant, he's hurt all the time.
Right.
Yeah, the Nets, everyone thinks they're going to be the team that comes out of the East. I have no fear of them whatsoever. Yeah. I see what that happens to those guys every year at the end of the year. They all break down.
Now, it's still going to be as much fun as it is to talk about this team could go to the Eastern Conference Finals and make a run. Like, that is what they're trying to do. That is their intention, because they said that we wanted to rebuild this to be contenders again. That is what they're trying to do. And I appreciate a team, when they see a window open, even if it opens early, going for it when you don't have to give up a lot either. There's a few like ancillary picks and things. The biggest piece is probably for Indiana, it's the expiring contract they can get off their books. For the Cavs, the biggest piece that they're losing is a first-round pick next year. But we saw when they were going for the championship before, they didn't care about those. When you have a chance, the draft picks in the NBA are much less vital than even in the NFL. So it's a good move. I just temper expectations to keep everything in perspective. It's a young team that, yeah, they're still dealing with some injuries. And when the lights get brightest, they're still going to have to learn how to win on that stage. I don't have any fears that they won't be able to, and they're just going to completely, miss the mark in the playoffs. But they're going to need to go through those trials and tribulations. They're used to just kind of preparing one game at a time. You don't get a lot of film. You're basically watching your own film. You're not watching film and being able to prepare, make adjustments for the same team the very next night. In rare occasions, you get that now on the NBA schedule, but you don't really get that playoff experience until you're there. That's what this team desperately needs. You get a little playoff experience, you start to go on a run in the playoffs, then the doors start to open wide.
Well, that's what I love about this situation there. Worst case scenario, you get a bunch of playoff experience. Best case scenario, you win a championship. Like, that's where they're at. And they were like I said, we were trying to fight for the play-in at the beginning of the year. Here we are trying to get home court advantage. I love this. One thing I love about this deal too, you said how Garland with his health is he no longer has to play all those long minutes. He can take a night off here and there now and just get ready for the playoff run and get healthy and get his back right. And I think do you think they pull off another trade?
That's the thing. I was going to ask you guys, and we'll ask everybody tuning in as well. Good trade tonight. I've seen a lot of positivity. There's only been a couple people kind of saying, well, Karis LeVert does it on his own. It's not in the system where it's kind of fun basketball. Everybody's involved and could be a different guy every night. When guys get into an atmosphere, if the culture's strong enough, the guys will buy in and that game will still transfer. So we got to see how that works. But on paper, it looks good. We know in Cleveland not to look on paper. But for everybody tuning in, and Jay, yourself, and I'll go first because you asked me, I'll ask to our fans the same question. Do you think they can make another trade, and what are they missing? To me, they're missing three-point shooting because you have all these big guys, and without Lauri Markkanen in there, a big guy that can, stretch it out. Evan Mobley has not developed his three-point shot or outside shooting consistently just yet. You don't have enough guys spreading it out on the wing because the NBA is still an open floor game, and you're going to have guys spread along the three-point line. And you need a little bit more room for Garland to operate as he drives in and get those lobs more, start to get those going more with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. You need space. And if you have three-point shooters, that forces the space because a guy that's defending your great three-point shooter or shooters, they have to stay at least 3 to 5 feet away. They can't come and help all the time. So that puts more pressure on other teams' defenses. Jay, what about you?
You summed it pretty much up right there. You need three-point shooting, man. It opens everything up. What did LeBron want all the time? A three-point shooter.
What is he not having with the Lakers?
I mean, they got Russell Westbrook. Doesn't he shoot threes great? Oh,
no,
he doesn't shoot anything good.
No, I mean,
Lakers,
DP Construction might want to hit him up because he's building some.
Oh, he can lay a lot of bricks. Let me tell you right now,
a lot of concrete heavy bricks on the.
He's quite the enemy of Wreck-It Ralph, if you know the cartoon.
Yeah, yes.
But I lost my train of thought. The shooting. Yeah, you totally need shooting. I like Eric Gordon. I think you can get him for cheap. I don't know what you got to give up. I mean, Koby Altman apparently can give up nothing and get great players. So
yeah, he's kind of fleeced a lot of people at this point and not giving up a lot. You're I don't know what's left in the cupboard to get rid of that you don't have to give up any piece of the core or a potential piece of the core. I know that they still want Colin Sexton here, and if he has a chance to play in the playoffs, they would love for that, and they would love to extend him here. They would love to extend Karis LeVert. I mean, I don't know what you can give up. That's why I'm not being paid to run the front office elements and being the president of basketball operations for the Cavs because I don't have to make those decisions. But if you can find a way somehow, some way, even if it's like a very minor deal, not one of the bigger names we've talked about, you're only going to get one of those bigger names, the Karis LeVert, like a Buddy Hield or something like that, because you had to give up multiple pieces. If you can get a minor piece, and if Eric Gordon is affordable as a minor piece, a guy that can shoot the ball and showed he could shoot it in Houston, again, another piece that they make a move like that, you really know they're going for it. And it just helps the young guys a little bit more, gives a little bit more veteran leadership to this team. It's 3-point shooting, because we know that they've shown now that they can play defense. They can stay in games by playing defense. They can't shoot the outside shot consistently enough. And that's how teams,
especially when Garland is out. And that's how teams extend leads like the Pacers are tonight on them. And that's how teams get back on them like Charlotte did the other night. That's how they come back so quickly. Austin Carr, Mr. Cavalier, I'll end up saying this. He says it best all the time. He never feels comfortable with a lead because now of how important the three-point shot is in the NBA. And that is how vital that change and what the impact a guy like Steph Curry has had on the NBA. That is how huge. It seems small, but you always fear your lead now. I mean, you can go on a 9-0 run in like 30 seconds. It's incredible what these guys do.
Well, was that the Charlotte game where they were up by 6 and then Charlotte dropped three straight threes, and then the Cavaliers
and a phantom
foul, and they were down 6 because of ball was out of. I'm not even gonna go back to
I'm just saying, but the 3-point shot. I mean, it just gets you back so much faster.
But that 6-point lead quickly in like 2 minutes or less went from a 6-point lead to a 3-point deficit because of those 3 straight threes, like you said. Yeah. And
hold on, just teed you up. You got 3 free throws in the shot.
Oh,
just you know.
But the basket I just missed. That was
no, it's okay.
It went.
It's fine.
It didn't go.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, all right.
We do what I say, and that's how it goes.
All right. Well,
don't do it again, audio, or I'll give him another 3 free throws.
Well, that's a good way to go to break then, because I'm feeling good. So I mean, I know audio's got to call a timeout right now because he's not feeling too good.
He's got to recoup.
I'm putting that run on him. So we are going to hit a break, the first break of the night. Keep reaching out to us. Let us know your thoughts on the trade. We're going to kind of talk about some other things tonight. We'll get back into some of your comments as we go and shout you out if you reach out to us through the comments on Twitter, Facebook, or whatever. This is the Voice of Land on the Big Play Network.
Whether you're looking to hire new talent or start a new career, Vector Technical has you covered. Vector Technical is a 28-year-old staffing firm that has helped thousands of job seekers advance in their career with reputable partners throughout Northeastern Ohio. Vector Technical is more than just a temp agency. With an above-average hire-in rate of 1 in 4 candidates, Vector works hard to connect the right person with the right opportunity the first time. Vector Technical hires for skilled manufacturing and light industrial work and is sure to have a career that you've been looking for. To learn more, visit our website at www.vectortechnicalinc.com.
Welcome back to the Voice of Land. Kevin Arnold alongside Always Positive Jay and Audio, our producer behind the switcher tonight. We went to break talking about the Cavs. I'd be remiss if we didn't, give one more shout out to Darius Garland for being selected to his first All-Star game, being right now the only Cleveland Cavalier representative at the All-Star game coming up in a couple weeks. We're not going to, just so everybody knows, we're not going to have a show next week because even trying to record one and then post it, with it being also Valentine's Day weekend and, during the big game that we will talk about later, I
forgot we have to call it the big game.
Like I've only watched 5 minutes of real time, not even game time of football since the Brown season ended. So even I'm going to watch the big game. So you guys know, if I'm watching it, I'm not even going to watch my own show.
So you would say it's a super game.
It's a super game.
And it's played in a bowl.
It's played in a stadium that kind of looks like a bowl.
Okay.
Yeah.
The awesome pot.
The awesome
I got a way around you, NFL.
The awesome pot. Yes.
Only you, Audio.
I'm going to trademark that right now. So,
so we're not going to have a show next week. We're going to try to do a show All-Star weekend. We're going to see what's going on. I know that, Jay, you're going to be out with some of the other guys from some of the other podcasts, the Legal Hand to the Face and Dog's Table and some of those other.
Hopefully there's a bunch. We're just trying to meet and greet with everybody, have listeners come out. This isn't going to be the first one by any means.
Yeah.
We're trying to just network with everyone and get to know anyone that listens to our show and all the other shows.
Yeah, when is that and where's it going to be?
The 19th at High and Dry down in Tremont.
Okay.
If anything changes, I'll post it on Twitter.
Yeah, and we'll make sure we retweet from our our personals.
It's going to be packed, so it could be fun. I mean, it's All-Star Week, and there's going to be a lot of people. Who knows? You might even see celebrities come in there. You never know.
I mean, Tremont is a spot that people talk about all the time, and if people are looking for places to go eat, I know Tremont is
so many good places to eat down there.
Is talked about. So head on out on February 19th, but we will update you on the schedule, what that's going to look like, who could be on the show that day, because I'm going to have random work schedule that weekend, kind of working different events as well. So updates to come on that, but congratulations to Darius Garland is really what we want to say. Congrats to Darius. He has earned that spot. Jared Allen should be an all-star. We'll see if he gets the commissioner's go ahead to be in to replace an
JB Bickerstaff should be an all-star.
He should, but I mean, that's always the coach is always the best record by February 1st. So, we were eliminated from that. That's okay. Who knows? Maybe they'll bring him in as like a special. I know they do that in the All-Star game sometimes with like Terry Francona with MLB, which we'll talk about that down the line. I don't know when we're going to have an MLB season this year.
We'll just let him be the coach of the championship team instead.
Yeah.
No big deal.
A coach of
I'll trade it.
Now, coach of a team that's didn't even come close to winning a championship.
You see this face because I know what he's talking about. Not happy with this.
Somehow this guy was back in the news this week. So we're going to switch gears, talking a little bit of Browns as we kind of switch gears in the middle of the show to football. Hugh Jackson was in the news after Brian Flores, former coach of the Miami Dolphins. He'd been in coaching interviews for the many vacancies this offseason, filed a lawsuit against the NFL for, while the Rooney Rule works in principle, it doesn't amount to any sort of results. And it is a damn shame to see the discrepancy in the lack of black coaches in the NFL.
I mean, it's a flat out joke.
It's an absolute joke. And the NFL kind of like coming out immediately when the lawsuit was filed and saying like, they didn't even try to investigate it. I saw someone tweet that Tom Brady and the Patriots got investigated much longer for inflated, deflated footballs than, a lawsuit talking about not just NFL issues, but racial, societal, real life issues. Well, Hugh Jackson decided to try to jump on that to get press for himself. He wasn't helping Brian Flores, and that's clearly evident now because he originally indicated subtly that he was paid to lose games or paid extra lose games, and he told CNN that he wasn't after a stupid interview on ESPN where he said absolutely nothing and made a fool out of himself and made everything about him.
That was the most rambling of gibberish I've ever seen on SportsCenter in my life. And I've seen who's the MMA fighter, the Irish dude.
Conor McGregor?
Yeah, I've seen that guy in there all the time. He makes far more sense than whatever Hugh Jackson said. And I'm not a Conor McGregor fan, but
I mean, I don't understand why he would. I feel like the conversation that Brian Flores was trying to bring up has now been totally pushed to the side by everybody because Hugh Jackson got into the conversation.
Well, now it's the spotlight's about Hugh.
Yeah.
See, and the thing is,
he like watered it down.
And here's my thing with, I don't think anyone should get preferential treatment based on the color of their skin either way.
No.
But honestly, if you're a football owner, why would you not want the best possible coach for your team? Regardless of color of their skin or anything, and I hate to think that there is, and I know there are racist people out there and it sucks. And I hate to think that Brian Flores, that's part of it, because that's just ridiculous. But Hugh, I know Jay's so mad about Hugh.
I used to defend him.
And that's the thing is, what on earth? Why would you come out and be like, I'm just going to make this about me? And you're right. It totally derailed, Brian Flores's, his case, his grievance. And like right now we're talking about freaking Hugh Jackson.
Like I said, I used to defend this guy. You know why I defended him? Because I'm just a guy who watches it like you guys. I knew that they were going to lose because their roster sucked. So when he signed up, he had to know more than me because you're in the NFL. You should know more than me. And you're going to tell me you signed a contract now. Well, they laid out this 4-year plan. I didn't really understand it, but I signed it anyways. You're an idiot then. What is wrong with you? Like I said, I knew the plan. They never wrote it up for me. And I knew their plan. It was that obvious. And then after you win one game in 2 seasons, they're like, all right, we feel bad. We're coming back for a third year. And you still continue to lose. And you never took the blame for it.
I guess I'm glad in a way that Hugh, admitted his lie or his attempt at a lie, because, hopefully that gives Brian Flores a little bit more time to find people that he can actually work with to get this real conversation, any legitimate conversation that the NFL needs to take seriously, especially right now when you look at your league. You completely push it away, and then a few days later you're going to say that, oh, well, we do need to take a look at the racial discrepancies and some of those societal impacts on our league. Like, again, just like Hugh Jackson, the NFL being as vague as possible as they normally are with Roger Goodell, and yet he's still not the worst commissioner in all of pro sports somehow, some way, but he's damn near close to it. I'm glad that Brian Flores has a chance to, with his lawyers and with, the conversations he can have, get better people on board, because Hugh Jackson jumped on when Brian Flores mentioned being offered incentives for losing, and Brian Flores wasn't going to do that. You don't want a guy like Hugh Jackson on that, because what you just talked about, not knowing the plan. Now, I'm sure the Browns didn't exactly tell him. They did say that their mindset was to win. They didn't tell him how that was going to work, first tearing it all down, then, kind of being able to build up enough assets to then really enhance the talent on the team like they did in year 3. He still didn't win with that talent to start the season, as owner Jimmy Haslam said. I'm sure that there was stuff done wrong by the rest of the Browns front office as well. I'm sure there was. Was it illegal like he was saying? No. But guess what the biggest difference between Brian Flores and Hugh Jackson is? Brian Flores dealt with a stripped down roster
and won,
and still won games. Almost took Miami out of a position to get the quarterback that they were talked about forever with Tua Tagovailoa. And yet they still found a way to get him because they were in that 5th spot. But they went 5-11. I know in Cleveland, if we look at 5-11, that's terrible. And for any NFL team, 5-11 is bad. But
yeah, if we would have went 5-11 with that roster when Hugh originally had, I would have been shocked.
Absolutely shocked.
But that's what leadership gets you, man.
That's what leadership and coaching gets you.
Remember how many of those games did we lose that season that were like really, really close? Like we could have won it, like the Packers and stuff like that, where coaching would have helped you win that. Flores won those. That dude, he won 9 games and got fired, Kevin.
And that should have been a red flag for everybody about this league. When I know. Again,
Dan Snyder owns a team, and this guy got fired after 9 wins. I got nothing.
I don't know. I don't know what he was able to, how he's been able to progress that team. Like, that's exactly the type of progression that you want to see. Everybody in the NFL wants to see like that quick turnaround, like the Browns had from 2019 to 2020. In order to sustain it, usually teams kind of have to go through the growing pains and continue to get better and better every year. Miami was getting better and better every year. Brian Flores said and showed that he could coach. Hugh Jackson thought he could just show up and you just dump a bunch of Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, all this talent. You just dump all of them in one city and you get to let them go play. No, you actually still have to coach them, whether you have great talent or just enough talent that, part of the 1% that still made it to the NFL, they're still professionals. They still have some sort of talent. You didn't find a way to even progress their skills at all. You didn't coach at all. I used to frustrate the old co-hosts of the show and probably audio and everybody else that tuned in when I used to do the Coach Kev's Corner, because I would talk about coaching. Yes, I've never coached at a professional level, but anybody that's coached at any level understands what your job is. It just becomes more enhanced and there's a lot more pressure on it. There's a lot more nuances that go into it that I couldn't break down for an NFL coach or a football coach. But you're supposed to have the player's interest best interest at heart at all times. Hugh did not. Brian Flores did. And the NFL does not have the best interest of being a model. As much money as they bring in and as many eyes are about to be on them next weekend, They do a awful job of being a model during the off-field stuff for society and how that should work. They are more an extension of that, and a microcosm of how bad society really is that people don't want to see, and how bad racial issues really still are in this country and should not be. The NFL is more of an example of the bad, not what they should be with the good.
There's a movie that just came out on Netflix. It's called Don't Look Up. I don't know if you guys saw it. And it's about an asteroid
Oh,
that's
yeah,
coming.
I saw it.
It's about an asteroid coming to Earth, and pretty much just everyone's like, just don't look up, don't deal with it, and live your lives. It doesn't matter. It's like that's what the NFL is. It's don't look up. They're just like, don't worry about it. Just enjoy the game on Sunday. You'll love it. But whatever this guy does in the offseason doesn't matter. This guy's getting fired, and he doesn't deserve to be. There's only one black coach in the NFL when it's like 80% black players. It doesn't matter because we have the best product, and we know you're going to eat it. And it's insulting to all of us, and we don't even care.
And as soon as something is brought up and someone's eyes do go up, immediately their eyes are forced down and it's shoved underneath the rug. Just like what Brian Flores was trying to do, what the conversation he was trying to start got pushed under the rug because of Hugh Jackson, and the NFL loved it that someone like that came to the forefront.
He probably got a bonus for that.
Yeah. You know what drives me nuts is the only time like anything really happens when there's just straight out video of someone hitting some lady, or a text that from Bill Belichick that's like hard evidence, like here it is. You can't say anything that it's not true. And if it's something like, oh, we need more coaches, they're like, oh, they're getting the opportunity, they're all getting this and that. There's no hard evidence to prove them wrong. They just don't care.
But see but here's the thing. What you said is like 80% of the players are African American, right? But to me, okay, that doesn't mean that we should have parity in coaching just because of that. Like I said before, it's got to be the best. It's got to be the best person.
Yeah.
Now I do find it hard to believe that only one.
Yeah. If 80% of the players are black, that means most of the league has been like that for a while, right?
True, but
those are the people that know the game the best, correct?
No, I don't think so. Not necessarily, because not all of the best head coaches were stellar players.
Well, usually they're players. Not the good players; they're the backup quarterbacks, whatever. But the point
I'm just saying that it's you need to take it. It shouldn't matter what color your skin is at all. And if that is the case, like with Brian Flores, then he has a legitimate grievance, and that's BS. I agree with that. So, but I do find it hard to believe that you have had so many African American players play at such a high level, and that so few are deemed to reach the level of being a head coach.
Well, the problem was
there, but I don't think it's just because
they were using them as their token interview. That's what they were doing to him. They had the other guy hired, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to bring you in just so we fit into the Rooney Rule." They really never wanted to hire the guy.
See, and that's the thing, and that's why I question the Rooney Rule, because what good does that really do other than be like, okay, we're just going to check a box off,
and that's
because it's ridiculous.
Why does there have to be a rule? You should just do it because it's the thing, the right thing to do. That's what aggravates me. Like, you're billionaires, and you need a rule to tell you to do the right thing. And even when you find a rule, you find a way around it.
But that's just it. To me,
I hate billionaires.
It shouldn't matter, because it should be the best person for the job. You should interview the best people for the job.
Yes,
right. And I think what happens is with the Rooney Rule, because you have to bring in someone that obviously they didn't think he was the best person for the job. I'm assuming. I don't know, because I don't know the motivations. I can't claim to know what's going on in the owners' heads, right? So even they bring him in, and knowing that they're not going to hire him, that's just wasting his time. That's an insult to him.
Yeah,
because obviously he's a good coach. Good coach.
Yes. I can tell, the dude is a defensive coach, and he has a quarterback that everyone thought was garbage and ready to toss him away, and he turned him around. A defensive coach turned an offensive coach around, got 9 wins, and got fired. And then just gets totally jobbed by these other guys, just bringing them in a token interview.
And that's why that's why I don't like the Rooney Rule, because it leads that to happen. And I think it's disrespectful.
Yes. And I think it's also a team that won like 8 straight games or something like that, because they had like 1 win, and Brian Flores found a way to get the message to his guys not only make win a couple of games. They started to pressure that borderline getting into the playoffs if they were able. It was a miracle if it would have happened, but they came really close to being able to do that, and they were in that hunt conversation for a little while as well. So it's the NFL, and I hate this common adage, but it's a cliche that's still true in society. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know when you get a job, or at least a job in a high profile career. But there's too much of that, and there's too much shadiness to that in the NFL.
Who's
with guys getting jobs?
The Browns head coach that got it for nepotism or nepotism, as Gerard Cherry says.
I don't.
Our head coach, the process. He was so bad, and then oh man, I can't remember who it was.
I don't know. We'll let you think about it in the break.
He was terrible, and he got another head coaching job. Like, that's all I'm saying. These guys, just keep getting jobs just because they know somebody, and that's not right.
But there are two teams still playing that they've found good coaches, no matter color of the skin. They've found good coaches, and they've gotten their way to the big game. And we will talk about that big game on the other side. And during this break, if you need some of that Voice of the Land gear, we got just the place for you. More information on that. This is the Voice of the Land on the Big Play Network.
Are you struggling to hire the right talent or maybe even find the right career? Vector Technical makes it easy. Since 1992, Vector has provided Ohio employers with a reliable process for hiring and have helped thousands of job seekers advance in their careers. Vector Technical is more than just a temp agency. We invest time to get to know each client and candidate personally. Vector places people in job opportunities that they are truly excited about. Interested in learning more? Visit our website at www.vectortechnicalinc.com to see a full list of our current job opportunities and to find out what Vector Technical can offer you.
Get your gear at voiceoftheland.com/shop.
Welcome back midway through the Voice of the Land here tonight. Kevin Arnold alongside Always Positive Jay and our producer Audio. We've been talking Cavs. We've talked a little bit about, the Hugh Jackson situation. I'm going to push the Hugh Jackson conversation under the rug. And
we're going to put it in the garbage can where it belongs.
Yes, we're going to put it in the garbage can.
I don't want that in the rug. I want taken out and never to be heard of him again.
Yes. And hopefully, some of the other conversation we had towards the end of last segment kind of brings maybe more of what Brian Flores was trying to say back to light. But we all know the NFL is a big animal that just does its own thing. And at some point,
well, and one thing,
karma is going to be
if the Browns, if you do want to ever tank again, you can hire me. I'll take half of what Hugh made, and I'll never complain one time about it. I'll have the worst record. I go 0-36. I don't care. And just pay me.
And actually take some accountability for not actually.
I'll say I sucked.
Yeah.
I'll blame everything on me. I don't care. Just pay me.
God, those conversations on Hard Knocks between him and Baker were just so awkward.
Well, Kevin, when you're in this chair, you'll understand what it's like to drive the bus.
So bad. So bad. So
trust me.
Hugh Jackson conversation in the trash here on VTO. We switch gears to talking about the big game. The awesome pot.
Someone already took it. They already have the domain name. Darn it.
Do they really?
Well, you can imagine what it's about.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, my mind didn't go there.
As they say, Cuyahoga Greenery.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that. I was thinking actually,
I was thinking a pot, like on the stove. That's what I was thinking.
I was thinking Jan and I could get like a wedding registry there or something if we needed some of those things. But no, not that type of. We don't need that. No, we will not have that.
The awesome pot.
But we do need some Indians jerseys though. So anybody that's tuning in right now, we do need to borrow Indians jerseys.
Shout out to Jay and Raleigh.
Yes,
he said he's going to send you a couple. But
absolutely, and he says he's going to do the shipping. He's not even going to make us pay for it. So shout out to Jay and Raleigh.
Such a good dude. Jay is seriously one of the best dudes you know on Twitter.
So anybody catching up on the show later in the week or watching live right now, listening on Google, Spotify, or Apple throughout the week, we could use some Indians jerseys. And I know they're the Guardians. We are honoring the history of the Indians, and they can even be the promotional ones. We don't.
Well, you were engaged while they were the Indians, so you got to go that way.
It was a year ago today, actually.
Yeah.
A year ago today.
Cool.
So You know,
I don't actually have a
Happy
jersey, but I do
1-year
have.
engagement party.
thank you.
I do have one of those it's a big Indians pullover with a big Chief Wahoo. It's the,
Yeah.
if you need that, you're more than welcome.
We'll see. We'll see.
know.
We'll see. We're strictly, the rule right now is jerseys.
Jerseys, yeah.
And we might, doesn't even have to have a player's name or number on the back even, because some of the promotional ones just have the design of the jersey. So like the 1920s or 1919 jersey, something like that. We'll just turn them around and put that
I mean,
out
you don't
front.
want my softball jersey?
No.
Oh.
No. Probably smells anyway. So
I was, geez.
well, you know. But switching gears to the awesome pot, as I know it's already been coined, but we're gonna call it that for tonight. What do you got? I guess we've kind of talked in the past on the show about what we look forward to most about it. But as fans of a team that have never even actually been to the game, let alone been there and lost, like the Cincinnati Bengals, they've never won, but they've at least been to Super Bowls. Oh, sorry, just said it. Here comes the fine. But as fans of a team that have never had the chance to go, Jay, what does your typical Awesome Pot Sunday look like?
Well, usually I start off by huge breakfast because I gotta stretch the stomach out for what I'm about to do. And yeah, every year changes. I have no idea what I'm gonna do for food this year, but there's got to be at least 5 or 6 different items you can eat and pick from. And I usually like to keep my party slow, like a real low amount of people, because like the huge parties that people have, you don't like end up watching the game, you end up conversation, then you hear and then next thing you know, you missed a cool play. Plus I like to watch the commercials, so I'll usually invite like my brother, maybe one of my friends, maybe one other person, and just watch it down in my basement when the big old 100-inch projection screen I got down there.
Audio, what about you? What does it look like at the Telep household?
Normally we just kind of order food in, something like that. It's just a family. We sit around and watch it. Honestly, since my team hasn't been in it ever, I look forward to the commercials because it's so many years the games have just not been good games.
Mm-hmm.
They've been lopsided, and
last couple have actually been pretty good.
Yeah,
though.
The last couple have been, finally we're getting some good, and I expect this game to be good.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be surprised if this was a snooze fest. And I always thought the commercials were really fun. But now a lot of them get leaked, on YouTube beforehand. And I honestly though, I haven't seen any yet, but I haven't really been looking
I'm
either.
gonna look.
So
I'm actually more excited about the halftime show than I've ever been in my entire life. It's pretty much my childhood music I listened to like as a teenager.
That's probably what I'm most looking forward to about this game.
I know, same here. Like I'm legitly pumped for the halftime. No one's allowed to talk during it.
Wasn't last year the weekend halftime?
Yeah.
And that was just
they have the meme now where the guy's going through the thing.
It was just weird. I mean, I couldn't follow it.
He's a good performer though.
No, he's
not. I like that was the first time I've ever heard him.
Oh, I had heard him, but I didn't know. Like I didn't know who. Like I've heard the songs, but I was like, oh, that's who that is. So,
and I think every guy in the world enjoyed when Jennifer Lopez and Shakira were out there. And then there's a lot of families that were really mad when they were out there.
Yeah.
But this year, man, that has got to be the most fire lineup for my personal preference of music.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think it should be fun. I think Jacob wants us to order Wingstop, so we'll probably get wings and I don't know, maybe we'll get a pizza. But yeah, just some food, hang around with the family, watch it. We used to occasionally go over to some family's house and watch it, but
yeah,
COVID's kind of still lingering, so that's just, and because it's a Sunday night, the kids have school the next day, and it just makes it more difficult.
There's always been that conversation, like the question, should the day after the Awesome Pot be a national holiday because everybody's watching it,
or move it to a Saturday because I mean they have a week off.
No, just have a day off Monday. I'm cool with that. We're the most overworked nation in the world. We can have more national holidays.
There you go.
Well, like the proposal originally for when and I'm going to say it right now, when the Super Bowl was actually proposed, that model of it, because we know the Browns have won world championships, but they've never been in the Super Bowl era. It was proposed that the conference championship games be, on a neutral site field almost like how you see the semifinals for college football.
Yeah.
Like that was proposed a long time ago. So, that's something else that's kind of been talked about too. There should be give people a little bit more leeway on it. Like if you're going to have it on Sunday, yeah, everybody's watching you because there's some sort of, there's the sports people in it for the actual football, or the betting man is in it for the prop bets. There's the entertainment of halftime of the commercials. Can't really look forward to the commercials as much anymore because spoilers are just out there all over the place.
Legitly go across state borders, put money on this just to make it interesting, because I feel like I'm like you, dude. Do you really care about the game and who wins and loses? Because it's the most contradicting, confusing game I've ever had. I'm like, I don't want Odell to win. I'm not going to lie. After what he said, I'm not even going to get into it because I'm done with you, clown.
Yeah.
But after what he said, I don't want him to win.
Yeah.
But I know like what happens to Super Bowl teams when they lose in the Super Bowl. It really hurts them. Like, look at the Falcons have yet to recover. So I kind of want that to happen to the Bengals because I really don't want Joe Burrow making a run like I think he's going to do.
Right. I'm not one of these people that says like, oh, you got to root for Ohio because it's Ohio. Now the people rooting for Joe Burrow because he's from the state, and I like even my in-laws.
It's hard to not root for that guy.
Right. It's hard not to. Like, anytime he talks, like he's got the professionalism swagger that we hoped that Baker would kind of develop. And I know I just said the name. Like it's almost like I said Voldemort in the Harry Potter world. Everybody's gonna come at me like I said Baker's name, and then all the haters and all the Baker bros come at you. You can't.
Kevin,
yeah.
There's a lynch mob outside with pitchforks and fire.
I found a list of party prop bets.
I did too. Yes. Yeah. If you want to run through them, yeah. Audio.
Sure. So number one on this list is the length of the national anthem in seconds. It's over under 95.5 seconds.
And do we know who's singing it? Was that announced?
Idea.
That's the thing. Like it's about.
I'll go on the over.
You think it'll be more than
it's a minute and a half, right? Yeah, over. I mean, they've been
especially if they warble a lot.
A lot of people have their own little additions to it now, which I don't mind. I like all different versions of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to complain.
Just don't overdo it. Like that's all I ask.
What's incredible is like the amount of money that's bet on their coin toss alone.
That's the second one is will it be heads or tails?
Oh well, here we go, guys. Kevin, what do you got? Heads or tails?
Tails. I always go tails.
I'll go heads.
I'm gonna say it lands right on the middle.
Right on the edge.
No, it's always tails, man. It's always tails. Well, that'd be hilarious. So it's just like, bing.
It's not
always,
it's not always tails. 50-50,
All right.
Tails never fails. It's how I always rolled.
And remember, still in Ohio, if we're even like doing this as a show, we still gotta say we're only putting credits on this.
Right. This is for
fictional credits
for entertainment purposes only. So
I mean,
the first offensive play, run or pass.
Pass.
Run. I'm gonna go run.
Okay. Which team will score first? Rams or Bengals?
I'll go Bengals, but
I'm gonna go with Bengals too.
Evan McPherson on a field goal because they never capitalize on their touchdowns right away for some reason.
No.
Okay. And to me, it depends. I think whoever has the ball first is going to score.
Yeah.
First. I think it's going to be kind of a shootout.
So Bengals, if you want to have the ball first, pick tails because then
there you go. First turnover of the game will be a fumble, interception, or a turnover on downs.
Fumble. Aaron Donald going to cause a fumble.
Forced fumble.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be your MVP of the game too.
I could see that, like a sack fumble, something like that.
Yeah,
because he's going to be tough he's going to be really tough.
He's tough on everybody.
See, I think Aaron Donald and that defense is going to eat, but it's still going to be a close one because Joe, like,
dude, that dude got sacked 9 times and still won.
The talk all around the Bengals this year and their pick of Jamar Chase was, why didn't you pick up Penny Sewell or why didn't you pick up an offensive lineman? You didn't put anything in the offensive line.
Which I ridiculed them for, foot, mouth.
And you can still ridicule them for, but yet they've won in spite of that because they have the guy, they have, that weapon on the outside.
They kind of did what the Cavs did and just went totally against traditional. Like,
yeah,
everyone says right now you got to build small balls, shoot threes. Cavs like, yeah, we're going to put bigs. You got to have a strong lineman. We're like, the Bengals like, nah, we're just going to line up 3 awesome receivers and this stud quarterback and hope for the best. And
if you put the right structure in place, you put the right culture in place, and you allow the players to do what they do best somehow within your system. If you set up your system based on what you have in the talent pool instead of vice versa, things like this happen. Now, the Rams are the team that, they're the extreme Cavs at this point. They're the ones that went all in. They don't have a first round pick forever. And they went out.
That was like the Cavs when LeBron was here.
Yes. And they went out.
We don't want draft picks. We don't want nothing. We just want to win it.
And they did what everybody thinks that the Browns can magically do with none of those guys really available this offseason. They traded their first round pick. They got Matthew Stafford, and it's do or die for the Rams. So it's going to be one heck of a chess battle. Audio, a couple others that we have.
And I'm just going to say that this is off of covers.com is where I found this, and they've got a printable one there. So if you are having a Super Bowl party and you want to print out some for your party, they've got one there for you. So next one here they have is, which team will commit the first accepted penalty of the game?
The Rams.
Yes.
Okay. I think the Bengals are one of the least penalized team all year.
And then which team will get to 10 points first? Rams, Bengals, or neither?
Rams.
So 10 points only, or 10 points or more?
First. Which one's the first one to 10 points?
Neither would mean it would be no one scored above 9.
Like a 9-6 game. Which
that would
suck.
I would say Rams, because I don't know. It just seems like the Bengals kind of have like this. You got to get down. You got to feel that pressure to.
They're a very
start
good
playing.
second half team.
Yeah, they got Smoking Joe. They got Joe Cool back there. So we'll look at a couple more prop bets on the other side of this break. How about that? Because there's a couple outside of the field of play that I just saw on the list, and mine is NBCLosAngeles.com. So maybe
we'll go for some of those.
Yeah,
and I will say that Jacob and I in Madden 22 did play a Super Bowl preview, and the Bengals did win. We also decided to play if it was the Browns versus the Rams. Ooh. And I'll tell you how that turned out after the break.
It's one heck of a tease by audio, and this is the Voice of Land on the Big Play Network.
Are you looking for a career in manufacturing? Vector Technical has you covered. Vector Technical is a 28-year-old staffing firm that has partnered with some of the biggest and the best companies throughout Northeastern Ohio. The recruiters at Vector Technical will coach you through the entire job process and will help you land an opportunity that you are truly excited about. Vector does not add any additional fees and offers benefits as well as free online skills training through Penn Foster. To learn more, visit www.vectortechnicalinc.com and make sure to check out our job board to see a full list of our current opportunities and apply.
Welcome back one final time to the Voice of the Land here on the Big Play Network. Kevin Arnold alongside Always Positive J and producer Audio. Behind the switcher tonight, we went to break kind of talking about the big game coming up next weekend, because we won't be doing a show next weekend. We will look to try to do one All-Star weekend, but how that's going to work and when that will be, stay tuned to our Twitter. Make sure you follow us at @VTL_pod and like our Facebook page at Voice of the Land for all of those details. Those will be posted along with special clips throughout the week as well. So be on the lookout for that. Subscribe to the YouTube channel so you get those notifications anyways when a new clip is posted, and not just so you don't have to watch the show back in full just to get to whatever conversation you wanted to see. We talked about Cavs, some other NFL stuff, the big game. Before we get into more prop bets, though, to end the show with a little bit of fun tonight, do want to make sure our partners, the Cleveland Crunch, do want to give an update on that to all of our fans out there. If you didn't know, if you didn't see last night, the Crunch go to 6-0 halfway through the season. Got a big win, 11-3 over the Cincinnati Swerve, BC Swerve as they're called, on the road down in Cincinnati. They were missing a few key players last night, but still got the win. Dave Jordan, the captain, 4 goals, 1 assist in the game. Bobby Chanchar, another defender, also got his first goal and assist on the year. Some other guys putting in great performances. We've had Gabriel Piwu on the show, Ryan Minnick, Flying Ryan, as they call him. So Cleveland Crunch 6-0.
The undefeated Cleveland Crunch.
Yeah, and they're back at home next week. So if you guys want to check them out, they're at the Soccer Sportsplex, North Olmsted, Ohio. If you have to head west, you go 480 west, and it's one of the last.
It's so easy to find.
Yeah.
I know I've been there one time, and I'm here to tell you guys right now, I've never watched soccer in my life. I am not a soccer fan. I got into it real quick. You can ask Kevin. As soon as they score that goal, yeah, baby, I'm into it. Like it is a lot of action. Just it really is.
It's a lot like hockey. It's so fast paced, and it's a small with the walls and the way they can use the boards to pass the ball to themselves. It's intense.
Oh, it totally is intense. So like when they score, it's like I said, you just get so pumped.
Yeah,
and man, the leg power these guys have when they kick it, it's like rockets, dude.
And if you can't make it to the game, you can always watch the game on the Crunch's YouTube channel.
Yes,
and listen to our very own Kevin Arnold, the voice of the Crunch.
Boy, that doesn't get old. Hearing that and having this opportunity, like I don't feel like I've anything like I've made it or anything, and like I'm.
What doesn't get old? Hearing that you're the voice of the Crunch.
Yes.
All right, there you go.
Okay, don't. Like it.
Who's the voice of the Crunch?
Kevin.
All right. Well, I knew that.
Did you just become the voice? We got audio. We got the voice.
Yes.
Oh,
I knew
it's all coming together.
I knew the turn of phrase was going to come back to bite me on that one, but it really is humbling to have that opportunity and be a part of it, and working with Peter and Jim, and of course Jacob, his son, who's in the background right now here at every show for VTL. I've had some other people come out. Still, we want to send our condolences and our best. We're always thinking about All Gas, No Brakes, our late great buddy Mike Allen. We miss you, buddy, and we couldn't have gotten to these kind of places without you. So thinking about you, buddy, looking up to the heavens to you as you kind of watch over what we're doing. But it is humbling for a kid that grew up watching the Crunch, going to Crunch games, to be able to be connected with the reincarnation is truly humbling. But it is the players, is the coaches, is that organization that deserves a lot of the credit. It is people behind the scenes like Peter and all the camera people like Jim and everybody that deserve a lot of the credit for the progress that's been made, and this team trying to climb its way back to the top tier of professional arena soccer, hopefully in the future. Shout out to Eric Davis, by the way, the owner. He was he stepped in and did the call last night on the Cincinnati Sources Facebook page. So he can come up and join and take over for me anytime he wants, because I've had to start taking breaks in between the quarters and not just at halftime, because it's a lot of talking trying to do play-by-play. And
they score a lot of goals too. There's a lot of action going on.
So the voice kind of takes a strain pretty quickly. Cleveland Crunch out to a 6-0 start. Head on over to theclevelandcrunch.com. Only 2 home games left this coming weekend. I believe it's at 7:00 on Saturday night. And then I think it's against Muskegon again.
Muskegon this Saturday, and then the final home game is March 19th against Cincinnati again.
Yes, so they play like that Sunday the 13th down there in Cincinnati, and then they come back the following weekend, the 19th. So there's only 2 home games left. They had 4 in the month of January. Only 2 left over the next couple of months. So
4 in 3 weeks. Yeah,
hit me up, guys. I'll come watch the game with me.
Yeah,
it'd be awesome.
$12 tickets, and it's a great time for the whole family. And there's a lot of
kids will really love it. If you got kids, bring the kids for sure.
And you saw it. There's a whole lot of families that come out to these games,
and all the seats are close. Like it's not like you're going to a huge stadium. Like if you're going to watch a soccer game, $12, you're getting premium seats. You're right on the boards, which like I said, it's intense, man. These guys are crashing into these boards. They got the glass up like hockey players, and I'm getting into it, you guys.
Yeah. So it is a fun time. So head over to theclevelandcrunch.com, or can't make it out, subscribe, not just to the Voice of the Land podcast on YouTube, but also to the Cleveland Crunch on YouTube. You'll get the notification that we go live for each of their home games. So fun times down in North Olmsted at the Soccer Sportsplex for the Cleveland Crunch, trying to defend their championship. Fun times to end the show here with some more prop bets for you guys. But outside of the game of football, because you're going to have like the over-under on turnovers, like we were talking about, things like that. But one of the ones that I saw, I know we talked about the national anthem. One of the ones that I saw, color of Snoop Dogg's shoes at halftime. It doesn't say I don't know if there's options or.
Have they seen shoes lately? Like there could be like 7 colors on one shoe now.
Yeah.
Like what happens if he comes out and they're all like 7 colors on one shoe? Like who wins that?
Are they like some mashup of the Bengals and Rams colors, for the Super Bowl or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah, because isn't he a Steelers fan anyways? I think so. I think Snoop Dogg is a Steelers fan.
So he was at the Cavs game last weekend?
No, that wasn't him.
Yeah, that
Wasn't him?
No,
No,
that was
it's
not
the guy
him.
that looked like him.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was-
seriously? Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know that because I saw a
Yeah.
report about that, and
Yeah,
someone
that
I
wasn't him.
someone I work with was at the Cavs game. I'm like, oh, you're hanging out with Snoop. She's like, yeah,
No.
we're tight. I'm like,
No,
No,
it
Oh,
was
okay, so-
not Snoop.
no.
well, that's a shame.
Oh, no, but I'm laughing because I was reading the comments on that, and then some people are like, "Oh, awesome, Snoop's here," and I'm just like, "Oh, Peter, you're one of those. You got,
Yeah,
you
got
fe- you
duped.
fell for
I
it.
got duped.
It's all right. It happens. You know me, fake accounts. I thought I was talking to at one point on Twitter, and
it's
I'm like,
just-
"Oh, wait, they don't have the blue."
It just goes to show how you can trust the media.
Oh boy. Well,
Cavs only down one.
all right, down one. How much time?
11
left?
minutes in the fourth quarter,
All right, so we know the Cavs are going to make their run. So even without Darius Garland, like
and they're fighting, man. That's JB Bickerstaff. I love you, man.
yeah. So and what is the score? Because I don't they
68-67.
yeah. So a low score, a lot of defense being played. Like that's
You got to do what you got to do to win,
gotta
and
do
they're
what you
doing
gotta
it.
do. And we talked at the start of the show. The Cavs traded for Karis LeVert today, so that'll hopefully add another scoring punch. When you're missing a scoring punch like Darius Garland out of your lineup, hopefully he can be that piece as guys kind of work their way back. Hopefully Laura Marketing comes back soon as well. So they're gonna find their way. They're gonna keep chugging along. Keep chugging along here with a couple more prop bets before we get out of here. I know we're just a little bit over, but that's okay. We can end with a little bit of fun. I don't know why. I don't know if we're trying to go back to the issues of the Janet Jackson thing, but there's a question of Mary J. Blige showing cleavage at halftime.
I'm gonna go no.
I don't.
I'm gonna go. That's a solid no.
I don't like, and I feel like that's like not really appropriate to.
Dude, you can bet on anything in that game.
Well,
Like
yeah.
there's not just hundreds. There's thousands upon thousands of different things you can
Well,
bet if
it-
there's
like-
going to be a streak or
And define cleavage, right? Because I mean that could be
Yeah, like-
there's
because Janet Jackson showed a lot more than
Yes,
cleavage,
I know,
so.
but let people within reason let them wear what they want to wear. Like it's their performance that they have their costume designers and everything. They're gonna go put on a show and they're gonna do it all together with those 5 acts. Will Mark Zuckerberg's avatar appear in a Meta commercial?
The human one or the lizard one?
I
I don't have Facebook. I don't know what it looks like anyways.
I don't either.
All right,
but-
I don't
what
even
color
know what that-
Gatorade do you guys think it'll be if the
Oh,
coach
yeah.
gets splashed on?
Um,
I'm going blue.
I was gonna say blue.
I don't know. I don't really see I don't really see him that well, anyways. But
There's
uh,
usually blue, red,
orange.
orange, and yellow is about
yeah,
it.
you've never really seen green, right?
No,
No,
I've never
I'll-
seen the purple thrown on them at least.
No, I'll go the traditional orange.
Okay, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a
No,
prop.
no,
bet
it is.
somewhere. Oh, it is.
It is a
Okay.
prop bet. They have it every year.
Oh.
There's all,
Did they-
like I said,
did they
there's all
really?
kinds of weird prop bets for
Wow.
the Super Bowl.
This one's funny. What team's jersey will Drake wear at the homecoming event during Super Bowl weekend? The dude that just changes.
He'll
teams.
probably have one of those jerseys where it's like half one team, half the other team. And
Yeah.
whoever's winning, he'll go on their sideline and cheer on them.
Did you guys see Mad Dog Radio? Chris the Mad Dog used to be, who was that? It was like him and like Mike something on New York radio talking sports. Like now it's on Sirius Radio.
I know
No.
you're
They
talking about,
split.
but
He was complaining about people like Leonardo DiCaprio.
about selling tickets to like these games. People are like super rich and it's not available for real fans.
Yeah.
I agree. I
Yeah.
kind of annoy like they should at least make like the top bowl for like season ticket holders from
Yeah.
both teams only. Like actually you should probably make the 2 top bowls like for that. I understand it's a money and it's always about money.
right.
But how much money does one person need?
Here's the thing. He took the wrong game to like his idea, his argument in principle, I agree with. He took the wrong team and the wrong game to do that on, because how many people are actually LA Ram
yeah.
fans? Like
I agree with you there.
so like
They're like Miami fans. They don't care.
so like hopefully Cincinnati was able to get a bunch of people to buy up some tickets that were available. I know that they're expensive and everything, but hopefully they were able to buy up a bunch so that they get a good decent crowd there. How many people have followed the team back from St. Louis back to LA? I don't really know. It's even worse for the Chargers. So you can make
Did you see what the top bowl was cost?
probably
Thousands.
I was gonna say 2,000 at least. So yeah,
I thought I heard
like-
somewhere like the cheapest ticket you could get was like closer to 5. At this
Yeah,
point.
so I said thousands, not 1,000, thousands.
Yeah,
like if the Browns ever make the Super Bowl, ain't any of us getting in there. Like that kind of
No.
sucks. Like
no, unless you get a media pass, you are not like
we gotta
fans like
we gotta bust our asses, guys. We gotta get
we do got those CBC TV and the Crunch.
You've made some pretty nice official looking media passes, so you
Oh,
never
by the
know.
way, I'm framing that. Thanks, guys. My first media pass. Kevin's like, "Oh, you usually keep that." I'm like, "Yeah, I usually do, but not today." He's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, it's fine, whatever. But I mean, that's just some of the prop bets. We're not betting people. We need to be
like I said.
educated.
I might go to Pennsylvania and put money on it just to make the game interesting. And I've never bet on a game in my life.
I mean,
outside of like the friendly bets I have with other podcasts, winning T-shirts on with them, but.
Yeah.
I mean, as it does become legal in Ohio, and if there's maybe groups that, or even betting agencies, or even groups that educate people on sports betting, because that's going to become a big thing. Hey, our DMs are, those are always open. Sponsorships are always open. So we're willing to learn, because we're going to have to talk about it as it becomes more legal in Ohio. I know I'm not going to be placing bets. I don't have that kind of ability at this point.
You got to pay for a wedding.
Well, yeah, but I don't really want to. I've kind of done the wasting money era of my life, and that was on shoes.
Wait till you have kids.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
I'm going to go bet on this, right? Every year, my one friend asks me who I should bet on the Super Bowl, and I almost always get it right. I'm going to bet on it, and I'm not going to get it right. I know it. I'm going to jinx it. I just know it.
But
like I said, I'm putting pizza money on it just to have fun with it, giving myself a reason to want to watch the game.
There was the one guy who put, according to Nick Padone on the Sports Parlor, it was a $20 credit that he got a $20 credit on one of the online sports books. Picked the 2 championship scores exact. One just shy of, I think, 580.
Yeah, it was almost $600,000.
Yeah, and that's like where I'm
20,
out.
$20, and it was a credit.
$20.
Yeah,
and he didn't even pay for it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's like you put $20 in, he'll give you $20 credit. He used his free credit and won almost $600,000. God, if you listen to me, let that please happen to me one day, please. I will share.
That would be nice.
Yeah. But of course, if you talk about betting here in Ohio, you got to remind everybody that it is for
credits and fun.
For credits and for entertainment purposes.
Or we have to go out of state.
Yes. Or you have to drive.
Or call your legislator and tell them to hurry up, because they've already got it pretty much passed, but they're not going to implement it until after.
Because they want to make it fair for all the other platforms. So I'm like, well, all you're doing is let the other states get ahead of you, but sure, whatever.
I'm doing the air quotes for people just listening to the audio of this podcast, but they want to do it right. Okay, just whatever.
Do it.
Yeah, there's plenty of market in there, and it will help the economy. I won't be doing it, but I want to be educated on it so I can talk about it, because there's plenty of segments that can be, vital and, even helps with the planning. As we said at the beginning of the show, sometimes it takes many days to plan this show. Sometimes
falls right in your lap.
As it did tonight, as Koby Altman and the Cavs.
Thank you, by the way, Koby, because I'm not going to lie. I was sitting on my couch like, what are we going to talk about today? And then literally 2 minutes later, I go on Twitter. I'm like, I know we're talking about today. It's like, thank you.
I was laying on the couch. I was trying to stay away from my phone, and I was thinking the same thing. And Janet just, yells out as I was kind of like going between the Olympics and that race in the Rose Bowl out in LA that they put together, that really short track they put together. She yells out, "Hey, the Cavs traded Ruby." I was like, "Oh wait, like who do we get?" Because that was going to be his contract was in my head. Like I started rolling through it. I was like, his contract's going to be used for a bigger piece. Like, who is it? Oh my gosh, it's Karis LeVert. Let's go. Like, I don't want to see Rubio go, but unfortunately he's hurt, and all the best to him in his recovery. And he has a chance to come back next year. So congrats to, Koby Altman in the front office getting that deal done while the Pacers are in town. So
creating content for us to talk about.
And creating content to make it easier. So with that being said, though, that is going to wrap it up for this edition. As a reminder, no show next week. Enjoy with family and friends. I didn't even mention my day of the awesome pot. You guys know my family makes homemade jambalaya. So at some point I'll have to let you guys try it, because they're making it fresh this week. Then they make a big pot. They freeze it.
Never had jambalaya.
Oh, it's delicious.
I don't even know what. We'll talk about it off there.
We did tease this before.
Yeah.
So the Browns Rams awesome pot game.
Yes.
Browns won.
You would have to be on Austin Pop for that to be true.
So
Yeah.
it would be.
So a fun show to say the least, and a fun way to kind of go through these next 2 weeks. Enjoy the big game, however you guys enjoy it as family and friends next week. And then we will give more details at VT_pod, at Voice of Land on Facebook. And throughout the week, we'll update what the show will look like the week of All-Star Weekend. As we go off air, the Cavs are now up 80-68. They have taken a 12-point lead in the fourth quarter with 8:49 to go as I look at a phone on camera, but oh well, don't really care. It's our show. We do what the heck we want, as we said in our title tonight. But for Always Positive, Jay and our producer extraordinaire audio, better known as Peter Tellup, I'm Kevin. I'm reminding all of you sports fans, don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game. We truly love you all 3,000. And as our great late friend used to say, all gas, no brakes. We will see you all in a couple weeks.